Good morning, everybody. It's October the 12th. We're already almost halfway through October. It's like, how did that happen? How does time go by so fast? So today we're going to talk about Sellerboard and some of the features in Sellerboard. We had them as a guest on our show. Was it 2 years ago that they came
You need
on?
to ask me that beforehand because I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, and it was a very long video, a whole hour. And he really took time. I forget the gentleman's name. I want to say it was Alex, but I could be wrong. Anyway, he really took his time going through all the features of Sellerboard. And at that time, they were working on creating the ability to do your Amazon shipments in Sellerboard. And
That was right.
I remember at that time we were thinking, wow, that would be huge. I would get rid of Inventory Lab if that was the case, because Sellerboard does offer a lot more options. And so if I were to show you here, let me do this here. Okay, so going over here to Sellerboard, these are all of the tools that they offer. And it's really helpful. And some of the things are in beta, so you have to ask for them. So just looking over their tools, they even have a Chrome plugin. So if you are on Amazon and you don't pay for, say, a calculator tool, you can use Sellerboard's calculator tool. And I can even show you what that looks like too. I just wanted to quickly just skim over these features since I'm not really going to cover them all today. But Sellerboard also links your Shopify, your Walmart, and your eBay stores. And you can use, you don't have to pay for each platform like some of the other tools. With Sellerboard, you get Amazon, eBay, Walmart, Shopify under your one monthly total. You can enter in your buy cost for these items. So you have your true, profit and loss when you plug in your buy cost. You can, click a simple click of the button asking for review requests on your products. I'm going to cover PPC just a little bit today. This has always been a very helpful tool, this listing change alert. Whether you are the brand owner or you are on a listing that's gotten hijacked, you get an email immediately if the name of your product has now changed. Sometimes it's from the real brand name, yours, or, say Barbie or what, Mattel. And then you'll get an alert saying that it's been changed to XOOZ3, whatever the hijacker's name is. You get notified if you have lost or missing inventory. With it, just a click of the button, you can open up a case to get those funds sent back to you. It really just does a lot of things. And I believe the pricing is down here on this first page here. I probably could have just hit pricing and it will just take us right to it. But I just want to show how affordable it is. So $15 a month is their standard base pricing, and that's with 3,000 orders a month. Some of you maybe have higher order amounts, and as high as you want to go, it's still incredibly reasonable, their pricing, given everything that is included. Now, I have an affiliate link that should be posted below our video here in the comments section that will give you 2 months free of Sellerboard if you use my link. If you've never had it and just want to try it, you can try it for 2 full months to decide if you like it or not. So they have a demo button here that I will go over and jump into what a shipment looks like. Yesterday, I did a shipment and I took screenshots along the way. And of course, I had to blur out a lot of stuff because it was my actual account. But here in this demo account, this is what it would look like if you were logging in to your Sellerboard account. It would look exactly like this. So if you come down here to inventory, you would simply go to FBA shipments. And you click here to begin your shipment. Now, it doesn't really let me start a shipment. If you were in your account, this would be a clickable button where you would hit create inbound shipment. Now I'm going to go in here and view their shipment, if you will, what you do is instead of it saying print item labels, like I said, I took screenshots that we'll jump over to. I believe it says add item, something to that effect. You would click that and you can type in, there'll be a search bar. You can type in a specific item you're looking for, or just go through your FBA inventory and add the items in. So these are the items that have been added in. And there is also buttons to print off your FNSKU and everything in Sellerboard. So I'm going to jump over to my presentation. So once I had everything added into my account, jumping back over here, sorry. So I had my items like these boxes right here, okay, in mine. And so behind this blur of bubbles, you can kind of see these little white squares. Here are the items I had to add in. If you see right here, do I need to blow this up? Is this kind of tiny?
That's pretty small. So.
Okay, so I'm going to blow it up really big. Okay, so anyway, these little squares are my items that are in my shipment. And if you see right here, we have box number 5 because I was working on my 5th box. So because I already knew that Amazon wants us to have 5 boxes to not have the inventory fees, what you do is once your items are in your account, you will have first this box 1 pop up. Then you'll have how many items are total of these. I just divided each of them by 5. And in that box, I put, that I had 9, whatever this one was, 14, 2, 4 of the items. Here you can see this box is open where I was typing in the number 4. Right here, this green check mark it was because it was saying I had 0 left. So these bubbles have your available quantity. And as you are adding them into your box, and since I was on box 5, I was down to 0. Up here is where you will put your box dimensions and the weight. Okay. When you're done with that step of all your boxes, you would simply hit this next button. And then that brings us here. So once I had put in my products, you see the menu up here at the top. So I was still on my products and I added them to their boxes. So then what happened is this window pops up and it says updated prep details for your products will be sent to Amazon. Then Sellerboard will proceed with shipment plan creation. Continue. So I clicked this word apply. And then I was able to hit next. Another thing is, hold on, my computer, I don't want that to jump up. Shoot, how do I make that go back? Not add new box. Let me go to the next page. Down here, it's hidden behind my bar. I don't think you can see it, but down there it says add new product. And by me being in full screen, it hides it, unfortunately.
I can see it sort of.
Oh, you could? Okay.
A little bit.
So then I end up on this page. So we finished our box content. So then we end up on this tab 4. So I entered in my shipping date, which will be the 13th on Monday. It divided it. It was 5 boxes, but it's 4 shipments because 2 boxes were going to 1 warehouse. So I did have 5 boxes, but as I said, it became 4 shipments with 2 boxes going to 1 warehouse. So I have no fees. If I want it to go to all to 1 warehouse, you can see here are my placement fees. There's more down below this page. I couldn't capture it in a screenshot, so it'll be on the next screenshot. So then we had the inbound shipment charges. These were the places my boxes were going to. So I selected this button. Now, it took me some time to be able to click this, SBD button here because this would be the shipment we would do, is my small parcel Amazon partner. It would not populate. What I didn't realize was down here where it says shipments, like the previous step where I entered a date here, what I was missing that was frustrating me is down here, it's somewhere over here, is another date field where I had to enter in its expected arrival date. And so I was stuck on this for quite some time until I saw that. I filled in those dates, and then all of a sudden I was able to select this button here. So once I did that and was able to select my buttons, this pops up in the middle of the screen. Your shipments will be created directly on Amazon. Would you like to proceed? Then you can check this check mark here where I can add new batch entry with cost of goods to the products page. So I selected that and then I hit accept. Then it brought me to this page here for the tracking details. And it said loading here for a long time, longer than I wanted to. Here is where you would print out your shipping labels. So I was really frustrated with this. So I went into Amazon itself. And going into Amazon, my shipment had already been sent into Amazon. So I went into the Amazon shipment tab and printed out my box labels. Came back to this still had said loading. Well, then I refreshed the page, just on the computer up here. And then all of a sudden the loading went away and I was actually able to print a box label out here as well. So if you get stuck on loading, just go ahead and refresh your page or jump into Amazon and you should be able to print out your labels. And honestly, it was as simple as that. It was so incredibly simple. So that was really just my experience with using Sellerboard to do my FBA shipment. Now it's going to work similar to Inventory Lab because it is already tracking our products and our buy costs for our products. And so you can see your daily sales and what your net profit is for the day, because it's pulling in what you spent on advertising. It is pulling in your cost of your product. So all you have to do on these dailies is you click more and you can see how many units were sold that day, your advertising cost, shipping cost, if you had refunds, what Amazon's fees were, and our cost of goods that we've already entered into Sellerboard is taken into account. And we can get our true ACOS, our ROI, everything on the daily. You can look at yesterday's. You can look at the month, for the entire month. And so this is really quite helpful. You can choose to span it out for any length of time that you would like. You can also, if you were looking at your month to date, you can come down here and it will populate your products just like in Inventory Lab. It's just the format is a little different. You can see how many units you sold per month. You can also see what you have in stock at Amazon and if you should be sending in more of these items. So it does help you track your replens for your account. So coming over here to the PPC, I have only played with this for a couple of days, not quite an entire week. I want to say it's been 4 or 5 days ago. I set up this new thing here called Create a Smart Portfolio. This is in beta testing. You can send Sellerboard a message over here. They actually have messages to me because I've been messaging them, but it will have like a little message icon. You can send them a message and ask to be part of this beta for just the Smart Portfolio. You already can link your Amazon, your existing PPC campaigns into Sellerboard to help you manage them with what's going on. You can manage it right here in Sellerboard. This feature is new. Create a smart portfolio. This is you allowing Sellerboard to set up your campaigns for you and to manage your campaigns for you. So for those of you who are not comfortable with doing PPC or really don't know how, you can let Sellerboard's system do it on autopilot for you. And what it is, Sellerboard will launch a dedicated research campaign to test keywords. So they will do high performing search terms that it analyzes it, it adds it to your ad. Once that gets going, you get clicks, it gets its data, it moves on to step 2, where they are adjusting your campaigns to meet your profitability goals, because you would set that in when you create your smart portfolio. Then it moves on to step 3, where your top performing campaigns receive more budget to grow profitably, and your underperforming campaigns are scaled down to free up budget for your top performers. Now, it's going to do this automatically over the course of time. So you can name your portfolio. Here you can choose your marketplace. If you're selling off of just Amazon.com, here you can select what products you want to target. If you want to group like items together, or you're launching a new product and you just want to add this, single campaign, you can set it up however you like. You can also set up your daily budget here. You simply just drag this marker for what you want your opening daily spend to be. Then you can move this to an existing campaign if you want to, but you don't have to. And so you set it up for what phase you're in, which would be discovery. And how do you want to discover new keywords? This step finds the best performing keywords through keyword discovery and testing. Smart Portfolio will automatically create your research campaigns for you. And you can set your bid. You can add your own keywords if you already have done your research, or you can let it do it on autopilot. And then you can select a bid amount. On the optimization tool, you can choose it by an ACOS or a profit margin. I personally always use ACOS in managing my own ads and my clients' ads. And when it's a launch of a new product, I'm willing to go as high as 30. But once I get my campaign set up and in a healthy place, I like my ACOS to not go over, ideally, 10%. That's my goal. But I'm generally willing for my campaigns to go up as high as 20%. I was working with one of my clients yesterday who just has an incredible product, and we set up his ads last week, and he's not even going over a 2% ACOS right out of the gate. And he spent, I forgot what the ratio was, but he had sold several $1,000s. It was like $6,597 on just a $200 ad spend. But he also has a product that sells for over $200. So his item sells for a large amount. So I personally, if you launch a new product, you can go as high as 30, but ideally you probably want to keep it more in a range like this. And then you would choose if you are scaling or not. And then there will be a button here that to allow you to proceed to continue. When you log in to your Amazon account and you go into your campaign dashboard, you will see this ad setup, and you can tell it's from Sellerboard, but by the way it's titled, and it'll have in parentheses whether it's an auto campaign. It sets it up as a group. It was so easy. This was all I did on mine, and I just hit basically continue launch campaign. And I looked in my Amazon account. It was immediately there. And every day I've been looking at it just to see what it's doing in comparison to my own campaigns. So it is pretty cool. So I did want to share that and my experience with some of these new features in Sellerboard with everybody.
Well, very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely fun. I got a questions though. Do you know for the ad campaigns, if we already have the campaigns going, will they take over the management of it, or do they leave it alone?
They will leave alone your existing campaigns, especially if you want them to.
Okay.
But there was that feature I showed you where you could add products that you could add it to an existing campaign. So if you do that, my assumption would be, I haven't tried it, is that it would end up taking over that campaign as well.
Well, very exciting. I think after being an inventory lab person for many years, I've had too many issues with inventory lab. And so I too am going back to Sellerboard. I had done Sellerboard before they had done these shipments, and then it was just not integrated enough.
That's right. And that's why I never wanted Sellerboard and Inventory Lab. While I like Sellerboard, I felt like I was getting everything I needed in Inventory Lab.
Yeah.
But now that Sellerboard offers the shipment, this PPC campaigns, I don't feel the need for Inventory Lab. Sellerboard does more than Inventory Lab, in my opinion, and
Yeah.
their price point, you can't beat it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I do like the features of asking for reviews. I had tried out Feedback 5 on new products, trying to get reviews, and I did a video about it it was years ago, and it was crazy on how many reviews you have to ask for to actually get a review, and kind of compared without the Feedback 5 with the Feedback 5, and it was pretty null. And even though it was cost efficient, or I mean, it wasn't very much, it was, I think, 10 or 20 bucks a month. It was, I think I got, 1 or 2% of the feedback asked for was actually given. So it's like, how, you know, it's a nice feature, but I don't really want to pay for it because it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
Robin is asking, does Sellerboard allow for 2D shipping labels? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can ask them that in my chat with them. Because I see that they've already answered me since I went live. I'm going to go over there and ask them now. Oh, it says they'll be back later today. So you can go in and ask them yourself, or we can Google it.
Googled, done. Give me
Oh,
just
okay.
I'm fast. Okay, so yes, Sellerboard allows for the generation and printing of 2D barcodes. It was introduced as a platform. So yes, you can. And if you want to take a screenshot here or Google it yourself, you can do that. But the
There you
answer
go,
is
Robin.
yes.
Yes, it does do 2D shipping.
And that's what I
So
like about them is they continually add to the platform. Whereas Inventory Lab, I know that I've given them feedback like, hey, I need this feature or that feature. The community has spoken for years and they still haven't done a single update. And then Three Colts bought them, 2 years ago? They haven't done diddly with it. They just bought it because they had a bunch of people using it, and they haven't done anything to better Inventory Lab. So it's like, why do I want to? Amazon's always changing. We're always adding new things and redoing stuff. And now this season right now is clothing can be what do you call it when you look at it and you grade it,
yeah.
graded and sold as not new anymore. So we're always adding and doing new features. So you've got to kind of keep up with the times. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
On the price.
what's been incredible with Sellerboard is their prices have never been outrageous or insane, and they've kept them affordable all of these years. And their customer support is incredible. The last year that I have been exclusively, exclusively using Sellerboard, when I send them a message in the chat, they always get back to me and in a very timely manner. I believe they are out of Germany is where
Sellerboard is? I don't remember.
that's what I think. Anyway, if their business hours are closed, you get a little notice saying that we'll get back to you tomorrow. So now this morning, they messaged me from a message I asked yesterday. And in fact, I was going back and forth with the girl early this morning, my time. It was like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., somewhere around there. And she and I were communicating back and forth. So their communication is very, very good. And, they'll say, oh, can you send me screenshots? Can you, and I've been very happy with their customer service.
So Sellerboard was founded in Germany in 2020 or 2017. And then I did find this for the 2D going back to it. It did just kind of come out in August of this year, 2025. And it was down in this news update. So I do like that they do that. So, there's batch assigning cost of goods to all variants. That's really fun and good. Business order tagging, deferred refunds. I want to explore this a little bit more because that's another feature that they have that they'll go after and get the refunds for you. That I've always had other, whatever the one that, I don't remember which one I have, but the one that Three Colts bought.
Yeah.
We've got a stock history report, and this is where they had the 2D support had been launched back in August. Export CVS files are really nice. I do that all the time. I did that with all of the Halloween and holiday stuff, export last year's sales so that I can make, sending in decisions for this year. You can
Oh,
automate.
and I knew what I was going to share also my Amazon page showing that they do have a calculator tool as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm over here on Amazon. Okay. So here is just a shoes page. They have a Chrome extension, which is here. When I click on this Chrome extension, I can enter in the cost of the shoe. So let's say it's $20.
We can't see it because you I don't think you shared the whole.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know if it matters, but you are in Spanish.
I know. Yeah, I Googled something and it came up on this one. But it doesn't really matter because the calculator is all the same. Okay, so I'm going to share. I think I have to do entire screen for the pop-up to show.
Yep. Yeah.
Tell me if this works.
There
Do you see it popping up right now?
Beautiful.
Okay, so let's say these shoes cost me $20. Oops, it did 200.
That'd be a bad buy.
Yeah. I guess I don't need the decimal. Okay, so $20. And then it automatically puts in a return percentage, which you could manually change if you felt it was different.
Yeah,
the cost of the return on this, the average monthly storage. They break it down line item by line item. The FBA fee on this is $7.08. The referral fee, here is your profit, your ROI, your margin, your estimated daily sales, your estimated monthly profit. And then there is a settings tab where you can change these variables if you should want to. So I think it's a really cool little calculator. It's maybe not as robust as some of the other calculators. However, it does the job that you need. Most of us just need to know the breakdown. How much am I going to make if I get it for this?
Yeah. Yeah, and that number is always subject to flux a little bit depending on all the things going on in Amazon. And that's why it's very hard to do Amazon, because you've got a lot of different fees and features going in. I know when I do my shoes, I usually put a rubber band around the box, and there's a little bit more hands-on because you want to make sure that the shoe is put together correctly, and sometimes the laces are untied. It's not as easy as some of the other categories, and you do have a much higher return. My return rate on shoes is typically 12%, which is the highest in any category.
Yeah, clothing and shoes definitely do have a higher return rate. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Well, very cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I don't know why I procrastinated on doing a shipment in Sellerboard for so long. I just have. And since I only had 6 different items for my shipment this week, I thought it won't be an overwhelming shipment. I just have these 6 SKUs I'm sending in. It's an easy, because I thought if it was hard, it was a fear of like, oh my God, how complicated is it going to be? Is it going to be, I just don't want to have to learn something with an overwhelming big shipment. I just want to do the normal that I know how to do and knock it out and get it out. Right. So I thought, this is small, I'm going to do it. And then I had a hiccup because I didn't have enough boxes. I needed these 5 by 5 by 5 boxes. And so I was waiting for them to get here. So it even pushed my shipment out even later. So I was aggravated, but I still did. I'm like, let me do this in Sellerboard. I was like, oh, it wasn't hard at all. Like, why did I make such a mountain out of a molehill?
I did my last shipment, I think it was 4 or 5 boxes. And I had gone through the web input form on Amazon, and then something happened and I got logged out or something and didn't save. And I had kind of done it as I backed up, and I didn't save and I didn't write it down. I was like, oh my God, nothing like trying to unpack and figure out what did I put in this box.
Oh yeah.
But it can be irritating for sure if you are trying to pack up a very complicated shipment. But very cool. Is there any other features that you want to go over with Sellerboard?
Not unless anybody wants to know about any other features. Those are the ones that I really wanted to highlight and share today. I feel like so many people are already familiar with Sellerboard, have it or have tried it, or but maybe there's people who have never tried it, and I don't mind going over that.
I had always struggled with the profitability on some of the things, would always say that I was very profitable on some of the items, and then I'd go and like crunch the numbers and it was not quite correct. But I don't know if that was my settings or, if I'm not quite sure if they have improved upon that in the last couple of years. But I know that a couple other people had similar issues where they would show, okay, I'll say a $5 profit on Sellerboard per item, but then when they went and looked at the transactions from Amazon, they were really only getting like $3 from
Well,
Amazon.
and I always tell everybody to double check that, because there's always a discrepancy amongst all the tools. So definitely check it. And so, for instance, our item here, we can enter our cost of good here. So you want to go in here and enter in your cost of goods of all of your items. Now you can set it, I believe, to be consistently that same price, where you choose that it's constant, it never changes, or it could be by period, by batch, by whatever this
Yeah.
other, showing that, because sometimes I got it on sale this time, the next time I couldn't, and then there's something that you always get from a supplier that's always $1.40, right? So you just come in here and you manually come down here and enter these in if you hadn't done it already in your shipment. So this is where you can track that. Now, if I wasn't sure if what it says my profitability was on this product individually, I can go into my Amazon seller account and go into my inventory, and usually around this area, if this was Amazon Seller Central, you have your SKU. If you click on your SKU, you can access your SKU economics and have Amazon's actual number, and then compare it to yourself.
And I had two things to say. One is what Tina is playing in right now is their play dashboard. So if you want to check out and just kind of see what she's seeing, you can certainly go in there and play around with their dashboard. They have like a little sandbox for players to play in, which is really cool. When you get done doing whatever you're showing now, I'm interested in the search terms. So.
Oh, okay. So this is indirect expenses. So if you want to use it like um, a bookkeeping, so the things that are not just your Amazon cost of goods, if you pay for Adobe Cloud or your internet and telephone, Google Ads, you can come in here and program these things to repeat monthly, or you can just come in here and manually add these items in. Here they did a photo shooting. They even, added a link to it, and you can put in your cost. If you need to come over here, you can edit it, or you made a mistake, you can delete it. This works like keeping your bookkeeping. Now, the search term performance is also something in beta. This links with basically your inventory. And this is on this single SKU. These are the search terms that are being used for the sales of this item, if you will. And this is the search volume, how many times, and I believe it's a 30-day period, I want to say, that customers are typing in these exact phrases. And your impressions are how many times your listing has been viewable by a shopper. So if you typed in cardboard paper box, that was visible to 23,453, people, if you will. Now, that doesn't mean that they clicked on your listing. They could have just scrolled past it, but you did get an impression. And this is your impression share, if it's going up or down for these particular search terms that customers are typing in. This is how many orders you got for each of these search terms. This is your percent of the order share in this keyword phrase. So for cardboard, paper, box, you are getting 3% of the profit share, if you will, for that phrase. And the rest of the sales are going to other listings, to other Amazon sellers. And this is your, of course, how many sales you made on it. And this is your estimated profit that you made on these particular search terms.
Do those
This
say
can
negative?
help you set up your ads.
Are those negative profits there?
This one here is
On the
going
top.
down
On
in
the top, where it says search terms for the paper box. Is it negative?
I don't believe so. I don't know why there. Maybe it is. Maybe it is a negative, and then here's a positive. Yeah, I didn't notice that little line. So yeah, maybe they are losing money on that because they're not pricing it correctly. It could be that, because these ones definitely look to be positive. So good eye there. And so that's what that is. This is your I always forget what LTV stands for, long term. Something.
Hold on.
I always forget what that stands for.
I haven't had enough coffee to remember it. Customer lifetime value.
Oh, customer lifetime value.
That's not intuitive.
So you can see if your history on that. And then you have your cash flow tab, and that is basically pulling in all those expenses that you put here in with your indirect expenses, showing you your cash flow situation. You also have reports that you can download and run. So your dashboard by the day, by the month, by the product orders, you can click on any of these and just run a report, and you can download it in either an Excel or a CSV format. And then we've already kind of went over the PPC today, where you have your PPC dashboard, their recommendations here, where they're giving you a recommendation on a particular campaign. I haven't gone into this automation log, and it doesn't look like their example is giving us anything. And then you have your inventory planner for what they suggest you should send into Amazon. And this can be very helpful too. So this shows us our stock, FBA, FBM of this particular ASIN. There's none reserved. It looks like they're showing a lot of like blank information here. So this one here, we have 42 in stock. And I don't know what this warehouse how many you would have at your warehouse. I believe that's what that means. It looks so different in my account because it's my product. So I, at a glance, already know what it means, but it does give me recommendations. I thought it was on Planner.
It says send it.
Yeah.
That's sent.
Okay. This one is where you can put in your purchase orders, especially if you want to track that your items, have that you're receiving everything that you put orders for.
Yes, that is a huge. This is probably one of the big reasons why it is such a good program, because I struggled with that. You'd make an order with whatever X supplier, and then a week would go by, 2 weeks would go by, and then you're like, well, wait a minute, did I get that order in? Where is it going? What's going on?
Yeah, so you can put the date you ordered it, your ordered number, you can put all this in yourself, what you ordered, because sometimes it is hard to keep track. You're going into your email like, didn't I order something from, this supplier? Yeah.
Sometimes it's out of stock or it's back ordered. I had one that they were like, yeah, we didn't ship because one order was back ordered, so we don't ship full unless if it's full. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I want the other items too.
Right. So I know I clicked in here earlier about like looking into your particular shipment, but this is also helpful after you've shipped it. So you can see that you have a warning on this shipment because not everything had arrived. So, you're getting this discrepancy
Mhm.
on this particular shipment, and you want to look into what that discrepancy is. So that can be helpful. If you have comments, you can click add and you can add your comment here, and you can keep a list of your suppliers in here if you'd like. This autoresponder is what you and I had talked about the other day when you were asking me about sending. Again, for whatever reason, it looks a little bit different in here, but I can send, please review this product.
Yes.
The demo account doesn't show everything quite very close to your actual account, but there are some missing buttons and things that we can't do here. So here's where it is. So here's the order date, the order number, what they got, the status is pending. So I can say send review request, or I can add it to the blacklist for it to not do that, if you will.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then money back is for the lost and damaged, returns, FBA fee changes, a reimbursement gap. So this is where you can come in here, download these reports, and then have this nice little template so you can contact Amazon, open up a case on these particular things. You can see if you had an FBA fee changed. I automatically get these notices sent to me. So if I have an item that my FBA fee was raised or lowered, I just get an email sent to me from Sellerboard. So that way it helps you. Sometimes I've had a fee change astronomical, and somehow my weight and dimensions got changed and they weren't accurate. So I had to open a case, ask for, a bin check for them to measure and weigh to correct my fee. Other times your fee maybe went up 50 cents because Amazon's threshold has changed, and you maybe need to go in and change your pricing accordingly. Other times I've had things drop in price. I'm like, yay, more profit in my pocket, So that can be very helpful to come in here. And then these are, it kind of breaks down what reimbursement gap is. You can select the period, you can download your report, and then you can see your template. They give you a template to open up a case on all of these that we went through. So all you would do is you would literally copy this, paste it into Amazon, but fill in your name, fill in your area in these little blank spots, but they give you the template. And then you can go in, open up a case, and add in all of these discrepancies that Sellerboard has found, and you can get your money that is owed to you by Amazon. If you don't use a VA to do this for you already, or maybe feel like this is so easy, I don't need a VA, because VAs take a certain commission for their work, for their pay. And then we have our dashboard alerts, and this can be helpful too. I know this is something that has happened to you quite a bit, where an ASIN loses its parent. I know that is a common problem. And then it breaks it down by, if it's a priority or not. And this is, the width and the length changed. So maybe because of this, your Amazon fee went up or down because either you were wrong and you entered it in wrong in your account, or Amazon for some reason re-entered in new calculations because they felt you had it wrong. Whatever the reason, this is something that you want to get fixed. Also, category changes. We've talked about this many times. The category was changed to gifts. Well, maybe this isn't a gift. It is a gift box, but it's just really a shipping supply box, and you don't want it. You don't want the category assigned to gifts, and then you're like, oh, that's why my sales have dropped this last month. They changed the category to the wrong category. All of this information is helpful to you to be able to open up a case. And so that can be very helpful. And then your alerts also have a setting dashboard where you can say, I want you to notify me of these changes, and here's the email address I want you to send these alerts to. And that's the feature I like, because I don't always come in here. I'm not always disciplined. else I didn't really cover, but it's something I use, is you have eBay down here. So I love to track my eBay inventory. You just sync this up to eBay. It does the exact same thing it does for you for Amazon. And you can manually enter in your eBay prices because usually eBay, we're buying them at thrift stores, yard sales, estate sales, wherever you're getting your eBay inventory. And right under here, of course, on the demo, it doesn't count, but this cost of good in your actual account, you can click this $2 will actually be a box, and it will allow you to enter in your pricing. So at the end of the month, if I I'm doing my books, there is one of these columns in here has your pricing. It could just be that this one doesn't have all of your options open. You would simply click on this category box.
Yeah, I see.
I like to do cost of goods. So see, now it entered in this cost of good column.
Nice.
And so I will sort the cost of goods. You just click on it and see how we have 0 here. And yet it is over here, but I like to make sure that I don't have any discrepancies. So just like with Amazon ads and things, you can decide what you want to see or not see by simply clicking or removing those options. And then that's what you will have as far as your spreadsheet would look like. So that, of course, is eBay. This works the same in your Amazon. You can do the same if we want to come back up here to Amazon. We can come over here and then we can select the data that we want to see. So if you sell clothes and you want to know what percentage of refunds were, what were my refund costs, what were Amazon fees, did I miss a, shipping cost of goods, I don't care about my margins, I don't even know what that means, but I do want to know my ACOS, like it's up to you what you want to see. And you can just look at it here manually. Or if you want to download it, you can simply click download and download it as a report, whichever you like. I don't see it in here. Shopify is in here if you have a Shopify store.
Oops. I don't see Walmart. Yeah.
But you have to ask for Walmart. So if you click on the little message bubble here, you can say, oh, I'm a Walmart seller. Can you please add Walmart in for me to use? And you will see Walmart pops up actually above eBay. So that really is kind of just a little quick overview of Sellerboard. I can't imagine what else to share in there for everybody. But as you can see, it definitely does a lot more than Inventory Lab, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is looking really good, and definitely something that I'm going to be rolling with for the next, I don't know how long, but we always got to change with the time. I had been a big proponent of Inventory Lab for a very long time.
I was too, and when I canceled, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I canceled Inventory Lab. I only used Sellerboard. At first, it was a little weird because I'm like, did I do the right thing? And now it's hard switching tools. That's the thing, is when we're married to something for so long, you know how it works. But now that I am deep into Sellerboard, and it's been less than a full year that I've been only Sellerboard, and I there's no looking back, and it's so affordable.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, I don't have any other questions.
I don't either. All right, you guys, thanks for watching us today. I hope you found this helpful. If you do end up getting Sellerboard, please let us know, and let us know how you like it or how we can help you.